Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Waiting to rise again.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Friday. Means we're brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. Hope that work week's in the rearview mirror. If not, we'll get you to the finish line here. Braxton Rizzuto and Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos, and fired up you are here with us. Preston Guy in 15 minutes talking Tiger football. The Saints schedule is out. I've got takes in 30 minutes. They're underway in round number 2 with PGA Championship from outside of Philly at Aronimink. I'll get you some scores from that. We'll talk some LSU football in hour number 2 as well. Plenty to do. Let's crank things up the way we do every single day. That is, of course, with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
Look, this baseball season's cooked, right? They're going to Hoover next week, try to play for their lives. They'll probably lose Tuesday or Wednesday, and this thing will be all wrapped up. So I'm not here to lament that portion. We have done that for 6 weeks at this point. I'm done with it. I'm not going to do that anymore. And so I'm going to take last night's LSU-Florida game and parse through the stuff I think is relevant for the baseball program, not necessarily what it means for this baseball team, because they're done. And you saw that last night based on pitching assignments. Jay Johnson said in the postgame, I'm not using Kason Evans or William Schmidt this weekend. It makes me sick to my stomach, but we're holding them for Hoover. I think that's the right thing to do, but it also gives you an indication of what the results this weekend mean, and it's none. So I'm not going to talk about that significantly. I'm going to talk about what we saw on the field last night that is relevant, and I think that starts with some of the young players offensively and what they did against Florida's best arms. Aiden King might be the Southeastern Conference Pitcher of the Year. Barberi is really, really good. You saw Rittenauer, who's a stud. They've got dudes over there in that Florida pitching staff, as they always do, and I thought LSU swung the bats well last night. They produced more off Aiden King than really anybody has all year. I could argue that was his worst start of the season. King only lasted 5 1/3. He had averaged 7 innings in his last 5 starts. He lasted 5 1/3. He gave up a season-high 8 hits. He gave up 4 earned runs, and it was all swinging the bat. He didn't walk anybody. And I thought that was really, really good. And I wrote about it at LouisianaSports.net. Mason Braun had some really good at-bats against him. He lined out to open the game. He drew a walk. I mean, sorry, he did not draw a walk. He drew worked a very long 9-pitch at bat. It ended in a strikeout, but he saw 9 pitches in that game. He had a single up the middle that I thought was impressive. He also singled to open LSU's 9th inning. Cade Arambidi got 2 hits off Aiden King. Now, neither one of them were hit very hard, but he did produce a couple of hits. Later in the game, Omar Cerna hit a 97-mile-an-hour fastball from a Florida reliever, 406 feet out to the opposite field for a home run. John Pearson had a great swing off Aiden King for a double into the right center field gap. I thought the guys who we expect to be back on this team next year, Mason Braun, Cade Arambidi, John Pearson, Omar Cerna, those guys had some really good at-bats against some really good arms. Yeah, I love seeing Derek Curiel double home run early in the game. I love seeing Stephen Milam smash a ball out of the ballpark against a really tough right-handed pitcher. That's great for those guys. They're professional prospects. They've been great. Tigers are national champs. I love seeing that, but I'm talking about the young guys, the guys that are going to be back on next year's team. I thought offensively those guys were great against really, really good Florida pitching. Florida's got a ton to play for here. They're trying to lock in a regional. They've probably got that done. They can get to a top 8 if they win 2 more games in Baton Rouge, go to Hoover, make some noise. Like, that's not without a possibility. They've got more quad 1 wins than anybody in the country at this point. So they've got a lot to play for. They're deploying their best dudes. And LSU last night against real Florida pitching scored 8 runs on 12 hits. That's playing ball offensively. And this team really has done a good job offensively late in the season since they've made the switch to go to the young guys. They swung the bats in Starkville. They really did. They swung the bats against South Carolina. They hit at times in Athens against some really talented arms, and they certainly hit last night. I'm not here for moral victories. This is LSU freaking baseball. This is an 8-time national championship program that is not going to accept garbage seasons like the ones we've seen this year. This has been a failure of a season. I'm not here to argue that or even lament it at this point. And I'm certainly not sitting here trying to wave a moral victory flag over a loss to Florida where you gave up 11 runs, made 2 errors, and got your butt kicked. That's not the point. The point is this program moves forward after this year. There is more baseball to be played at LSU. And these guys figure into that in a big way. And I thought they did a good job last night against good pitching. Another guy I was really impressed with last night was Reagan Ricken. I will tell you this. This is just my opinion. I like Reagan Ricken's profile. He's 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". Like, he's tall. I don't know exactly how tall he is, but he's tall. He's got a very smooth and effortless delivery. I like that. Like, Kason Evans is a little bit herky-jerky. William Schmidt feels max effort. And those guys can be great starting pitchers. Alex Lang was a max effort guy. That's why he ended up in the bullpen in the big leagues. But he's a great starting pitcher at LSU. But I do like guys who feel like it's effortless. Cade Anderson felt effortless. Ty Floyd felt effortless. Aaron Nola felt effortless. Paul Skeens it's a smooth, natural throwing motion. And Reagan Ricken has that. Now that usually lends itself to strike throwing. And Ricken has not thrown nearly enough strikes this year. He has struggled in some midweek games. He hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities in SEC action. He hasn't thrown enough strikes, and he's going to have to work on that. But he does have a very fluid delivery, and he's a great athlete. This is a former high school quarterback. And so he's tall, he's got a smooth delivery. And the other thing that I like about Reagan Ricken, I like the shape of his pitches. When you watch him throw, it's a sharp breaking ball. I like that. He threw some really good ones last night. Florida's got one of the best players in the country in Brendan Lawson. And Ricken locked him up with a 2-seam front door sinking fastball for strike 3. That's a gorgeous pitch. And it's something that some guys don't have. Some guys just throw a flat fastball. Ricken doesn't. There's movement to it. There's sink to it. And he can get it up to 93, 94 miles an hour. Last night was his best outing as a Tiger for sure. No question about it. When you talk about 4 1/3 innings, 5 strikeouts and no walks against a lineup that's going to host a regional, could be a top 8 seed, could end up in Omaha. That's good stuff. Like, that's really good work by Reagan Ricken. He showed some emotion last night. It wasn't perfect. He hit a guy that stole a base, came around to score, but the 2 RBI hits that Reagan Ricken gave up last night were a flare that was hit 74 miles an hour off the bat over Stephen Milam's head, and a chopper over a drawn-in infield that would have just been a routine ground ball to second base if the infield wasn't in. He was great last night. And the thing that excites me about Reagan Ricken is that he has never devoted himself to baseball. I just told you he was a high school quarterback. That takes up a lot of your time in the summer. Newsflash. So last summer was the first summer of his life that he could really buckle down and focus on baseball. And this one, he'll do it even more so. And they'll make a plan for him. He might go to the Northwoods League. I don't know if he qualifies for Cape Cod at this point. He might end up going off to work with a private instructor. They have a plan for everybody in this program on what's important. Ricken's workload has not been astronomical this year. Like, they shut Kason Evans down after last year. He threw 54 innings last year, high leverage stuff, pitched into late June in Omaha, extended outing in Omaha against UCLA, and they just said, okay, that's good enough for the summer. Y'all shut it down. We'll see you in the fall. And I don't think Ricken is going to do that. I think he will go get some innings somewhere. He'll at least go pitch somewhere. If it is with a private instructor, so be it. But he's got a starter's profile and some real attributes. If you see Reagan Ricken in that frame, that athleticism, that effortless delivery, and he can add 2 or 3 miles an hour to that fastball. Aaron Nola did that from year 1 to year 2. When Aaron was a freshman and he was pitching on that staff that had Kevin Gosman and Ryan Eads on it, and he broke into the 2012 starting rotation, he was throwing like 88, 89 miles an hour. I remember I was there at Tulane. I mean, he was a guy that sat around 90. And by the time 2013 rolled around, he was the SEC Pitcher of the Year, and he was dominant, and he got that team to Omaha that was so good in 2013. He was up to 92 most of the time, and when he really needed it, Aaron had a great way about him to go back and get 94, 95 when he had to have it. And that came from an effortless delivery, and putting on some strength to a 6'2", 6'3" frame. And that's what Ricken has. Now, I'm not trying to compare him to Aaron Nola, who to me is the third best pitcher in the history of LSU baseball. But what I'm telling you is maybe he's up there with Cade. It's 1-2. But I'm telling you that Reagan Ricken can add some velocity. And if he throws more strikes, he's got a profile you can really work with. And last night was an eye-opener. It'll be that outing right there. I'm just telling you. If Reagan Ricken comes back, and I have no reason to believe he's not, but in this era, I have to assume everybody's potentially not back. That's just the way college sports works now. But if he comes back to LSU and we start breaking this team down in the fall, and we're here in January and we're talking about LSU baseball, I will go. And if you remember that Reagan Ricken outing against Florida, which a lot of you won't, because probably a lot of you didn't watch last night after they hit a grand slam 4 batters in. You may not have watched, period, but if you did watch, you may have turned things off after Florida hit a grand slam and Ricken wasn't even in the game yet. So some of you won't remember it, but I will. That was a really, really, really encouraging outing against a good team. I would have to qualify it if it was against Missouri, if it was against South Carolina, or if it was against Sacramento State. But it wasn't. It was against Florida. That was good stuff. So I know they gave up a grand slam. I know Lockenmeyer wasn't good. I know Milo made an error. I know they gave up 11 runs. I know they lost the game. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Jay Johnson's punting this weekend. He's not using his 2 best pitchers. I saw young players in this program who figure in heavily to next year's team play well last night. And honestly, I would rather see that than LSU go out there and have Gavin Guidry throw 5 scoreless innings and Chris Stanfield hit 2 homers and LSU win the game. Because that's inconsequential, and those 2 guys aren't going to be – well, Guidry might be back next year. That was a bad example. I was trying to just off the top of my head come up with a pitcher that's not going to be back. Zach Cowan goes out there and gives me 5 shutout innings. I don't care about that. He's not back next year. But you're talking about guys that may be back next year that were really good last night, and I enjoyed that. So I'm hopeful to see more of that this weekend. You're not going to see William Schmidt or Kason Evans if you miss that. They're holding them for Hoover. They're going to try to go win some games in Alabama, and I'm good with that. So young guys, keep swinging the bats. We'll see them again tonight, 6:30. Hopefully they swing the bats some more. They are hitting in the back half of the season. The pitching has just been atrocious, and last night was no exception for that. I mean, Maverick Grizzly walked 4 guys and got 3 outs. That's just unacceptable. It's ridiculous. DJ Primo, 2 walks, 1 out recorded. Ridiculous. That's the way LSU's pitched all year. I like the young guys. I thought they did a good job. So we'll focus on that here on this Friday. We're brought to you by Cork's Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp. Get by for a late lunch. Government between Foster and Jefferson. We'll take a timeout. We will come back. Preston Guy talking Tiger football next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Contact my friends Neil, Melissa Boudreaux. They're awesome, awesome people, and they've been running Boudreaux's Electrical Services for 40 years. Their son Justin does a great job with them as well. You're working with a local team when you work with Boudreaux's Electrical. So get that Generac home standby generator put in before this storm season is upon us. You're going to want that. It gives you peace of mind to know if a storm blows through, I'm not going to lose power. There's also peace of mind knowing, hey, I'm going to evacuate for the storm. Looks kind of nasty. How often do we come back and there's still no power? That happens. Well, you don't want to come back to a 94-degree house and everything in the fridge and freezer is ruined. Have the generator on. You come back to a house that's up and running. It's the beauty of working with Boudreaux's Electrical Services and getting that Generac home standby generator installed in your home or at your business today. Give them a call. They've got the same number they have had for roughly a bajillion years. It's only 40, but roughly a bajillion. 985-397-1562 is the number, or 225-300-9389. You can do it the easy way and go to boudreauxelectrical.com as well. That's Boudreaux's Electrical.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 25 Jeep Grand Cherokee with $15,000 off MSRP.
Plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer, we know you deserve value when you purchase equipment. Right now, take advantage of the powerful 3025E tractor for just $297 a month, with 0% financing for 72 months. Tractor packages with a trailer also available. Whether you're tackling land, property, or projects, get your job done. Don't wait. This offer ends June 30th, 2026. Some restrictions apply. Visit sunequip.com or stop by a Sunshine location today.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Shows brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. Check out their menu, corksfishandshrimp.com, corksfishandshrimp.com. Let's talk some LSU football. We do that with Preston Guy every single week. Preston, how are you?
How's it going? It's yapping season, that's for sure.
That's what we're going to talk about. Where are you on this LSU Ole Miss fan/media feud? Are you involved? Are you interested? Are you completely over it? How do you feel about that?
I'm sick of it. I don't really care if – I mean, Ole Miss fans should hate Lane Kiffin and should be unhappy at any comment he makes about Ole Miss. I'm never going to tell them not to. My only agenda in this argument is I've learned a long time ago that, you know, shilling out for the coach of your team, you know, you're in the media, if you're doing your job right, you're going to be here before they were here and you're going to be here after they're here. So what really matters is the facts and accuracy, and that's all I try to do. Is I just want the facts out there correctly. You know, I don't like these false narratives and agenda that, you know, goes around and, you know, we ignore little details and facts so often with this.
Let's talk about Verge Osbury's comments where he said that Lane Kiffin's involved with the boosters, he's involved with the former players. Yeah. That's not what we had, and now we do. Where'd you take that?
I mean, my first reaction was, duh. My second reaction was, wow, he went out there and said that. But I look at Verge's comments. The other comments in that interview that a lot of people didn't look at were, hey, if people are talking about LSU, it's all good. All talking about LSU is good, meaning he's not upset about those Vanity Fair comments that a lot of ADs would look at as a PR debacle. That's not Verge's vision. Verge wants LSU in every conversation all the time, and he hired the coach to do that. So, you know, in terms of his comments on Brian Kelly, it just surprised me that Verge would come out and say that. But he's been, I don't know, he's been pretty transparent, I think, from the media perspective, even from, like, the introductory press conference where he was talking with people about how good the LSU job is. He kind of had a lot of the same thoughts that LSU fans echo. Usually it would be coach speak or AD speak for these kind of things. You know, we think LSU is among the best jobs in the country. You know, we're fine. And no, it was like, I think LSU is a great job. The only other two jobs out there up there with LSU are are Georgia and Ohio State, which is something I've literally said dozens of times. And that's kind of more so than anything. I think we all knew about Brian Kelly and the boosters. Now, Lane Kiffin doesn't have a sterling reputation with working boosters a ton, but I think there's stories that have been told about Brian Kelly where he's much worse than even Lane Kiffin was. So that doesn't surprise me. What is surprising me is that Verge is taking this on as the identity of LSU. We're going to talk and tell you how we really feel.
How do you feel about Lane Kiffin's public persona and the Twitter, the Vanity Fair stuff? Like, yeah. I'm on record just for the record. Like, I don't care about any of it, and I wouldn't go on Vanity Fair. But like, it doesn't register to me. It drives everyone else nuts. I don't care about it at all.
Well, one thing I'll say is I'm not sure that helps LSU win any football games. I think if I were advising from a PR perspective, I would say that was a bit of a miscalculated statement to talk about that for the simple notion of, first off, he wasn't saying Oxford is racist or anything like that, which is a lot of what this conversation has turned into. Is he's accusing them of being racist. When in reality, what he's ultimately saying is there are stigmas that have to be dealt with when you're the coach of Ole Miss with that because of the history and how prominent that history was, right? And I don't even think that's necessarily like an objective, a subjective opinion. I think that's just objective fact that there is stigma with Ole Miss and its brand that have to be addressed as the coach, right? However, LSU itself does not have the cleanest history in such categories. And no one, and I mean no one, was talking about LSU's past until you brought this statement up. So it's kind of one of those things. Maybe don't throw rocks from glass houses. That's my only real opinion, but do I think it's actually going to matter? You might give Ole Miss a little more bulletin board material, so that's not great. But I somehow believe that, the bulletin board is awfully full in Oxford right now. Let's just say that for September 19th.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I'm curious your thoughts on Lane Kiffin saying that, that it might take a year or two in that Vanity Fair fees. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's the first time he's ever said a year or two. I mean, this is a $40 to $50 million roster. Boosters are going to expect results day one.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm on the same page of this is a surefire lock for the playoffs. I see a lot of good on this roster. I see a lot of very good. And I see a lot of good with a chance to be great. I don't know if there's anything that's surefire, like okay, 2010, you got Patrick Peterson. Yeah, that's one of the best corners in the country. That's a special player, right? I don't know that there's anybody like that. The closest you have is perhaps Trey Green, but that plays a tight end position that's not necessarily, let's put it like this, it's rarely a true impact position, right? And then there's also questions on the other end of tight end there he has to play. Can he block as well? I also have questions about the quarterback. I have questions about the running game. I have questions about the offensive line, where 3 out of 5 of your starters for this offensive line were on roster last year for what was effectively the worst offensive line in the modern era of LSU football. So I have a lot of concerns, right? I'm not saying they're going to be bad problems for this team. I also haven't seen Levitt yet, so I'm not ready to declare this a playoff team until I see Levitt out there and how healthy he is from his injury and how well he fits in the system. So, yeah, I understand where he's coming from. I don't think he's asking fans to, like, hey, man, give me time to rebuild. I do think he's saying, hey, look, we had to bring in 58 new players. I think we did a pretty good job rebuilding the roster. I think it's going to be a pretty good team. But if things don't go the way, we're going to have more years to get things right, even if we don't hit it year one. Because I think that Lane Kiffin is very much so aware of the same concerns that I just listed.
Preston Guys, our guest, TigerBait.com is where you can find all of his work. He's with us on Fridays talking Tiger football. Recruiting-wise, I know we talked to a couple of local guys last week. Anything on the horizon as far as recruiting goes that Tiger fans should be looking for? It's kind of a dead period for the team. Whit Weeks was on the LSU on our morning show today saying, yeah, we've got 3 weeks off right now. So as far as like actual activity on campus, not a lot for the current roster. But what about recruiting?
Yeah, there's not too much going on right now. Obviously, players are starting to line up their official visits. You're getting like Easton Royal will be taking his official visit. I think that's going to be the number one guy that you're going to be looking forward to here as they begin to be able to take official visits this summer. I think that also they have a 7-on-7 offensive line D-line camp June 6th. There should be a lot of good players there. Last year we saw Elijah Haven and Pop Houston at that event. So we're going to just see how that plays out. So plenty of things cooking up, but yeah, right now things are fairly slow.
Rustin, we appreciate the time. Have a great weekend.
All right, talk to you soon.
Rustin Guy, TigerBait.com, with us on Fridays talking LSU. Remind you of our friends over at Marucci. Go take a tour over at Marucci. What a cool place to go check out. Maybe by yourself, maybe with the family. If you've got a youth baseball or softball team that's wrapping up a season, you want to do some team building or have a get-together as the season closes, check them out over there at Marucci. You can go take a tour where the official bat of Major League Baseball is made. They make 1,200 of them every single day. You can see how that process has evolved over time and learn the story about how two former MLB players and their trainer started making bats in their backyard, and all of a sudden it's the official bat of Major League Baseball. Such a cool thing for us to have here in Baton Rouge, and you can go check it out right there. Plus, they got the Hitter's House. You can become a member. Your youth baseball or softball player can get in there. Take hacks 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with key card access. Such a cool spot over there at Marucci. Check out the website, maruccisports.com. You can buy tickets for the tour right there at maruccisports.com. We're chugging along here on a Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Still got plenty to do. My guy, Big Fave, is going to join us coming up at 2 o'clock. I'm curious his thoughts as a former player on the relationship between former players, the current program, because Virgil Osbury talked about that earlier this week and said, the guy we did have, the former players weren't involved and you had to set up a time and you couldn't go work out and all this kind of stuff. And that's just foreign to me. I don't know how that stuff works. Well, Fave knows how it works because he played here, won a national championship here, and is around the program a good bit. Certainly works with me on pre and post game, but he's just around. And I think he's one of the guys who would know best how welcome LSU former players are over at the facility and what that's like right now. So we'll talk to Big Fave coming up here at 2 o'clock in 30 minutes. We'll also look forward to LSU and Florida tonight and tomorrow. Again, I'm not so invested in the results of those games. I think LSU will probably lose both games, but I do want to see some guys play. Every at-bat is important to some of the guys that are going to be in this program moving forward, so I want to take a look at that and what you're going to see on the mound from Florida tonight and Liam Peterson. Marcos Paz, big opportunity this evening to make his maybe last impression on this staff in an actual game on campus. He may pitch this summer, he may not, but he's got an opportunity to go out there and pitch against a lineup that is good, but there's some spots of this lineup you can navigate as well, so we'll see what Marcos Paz has. We'll talk about that in hour number 2 as well. Get you a score update from the PGA Championship at the end of the hour. When we come back, the Saints schedule was released last night. I think that this is a fascinating schedule, and I will get to that when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is that website. Check out my guy, David Duvall. He's been doing it for 30 years, and he can help you. Safety's a big deal in the bathroom, especially as folks age. So if you've got someone in your life that's aging, they want to stay home, but you feel like the bathroom could be a hazardous spot for them, well, do what you can to mitigate those risks. Put in non-slip floors. Put in a walk-in tub. Put in a shower with a bench in it. Maybe some handrails where it could be a slippery area. All these things are things that David and his team do all the time, and he's happy to have that conversation with you. It may not be something that's top of mind for you, but as I say it, you might think, that could be a good idea. Have that sit down with David. It's free to talk to him and just see what they can do for you. You can go to OneBathAndClosets.com, see pictures of their great work, and get that free consultation today. It's David Duvall and One Bath and Closets. You can find him online at OneBathAndClosets.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Get on by Corks today. Get you a shrimp po' boy. You deserve it on a Friday. Awesome shrimp po' boys over there at Corks. Overstuffed with that jumbo Gulf shrimp, fully dressed, shoestring fries, wash it down with a beverage. Delicious stuff over there at Corks. You can also get a platter of this jumbo Gulf shrimp. You get the fried catfish as well. They got great sauces. The Cork sauce is the star, though, in my mind. Go by and see them. Government between Foster and Jefferson. CorksFishandShrimp.com is the website, CorksFishandShrimp.com. All right, the New Orleans Saints schedule was revealed last night. It was kind of leaked slowly over the course of the day, and then we got the entirety of it there in the 6 o'clock hour last night. And I'll say this, like, before it gets released, I'm thinking to myself about this exact segment here. Like, what am I going to talk about, and what am I looking for? And we talked about that yesterday. It is more interesting to me than I could have imagined. It is fascinating for an NFL schedule to look the way that the Saints does. And I'll break it up into some segments for you, and I'll tell you, like, they got to come out of the gate. Like, they need to come out of the gate with this schedule, and it's going to be difficult in weeks 1 and 2. That's the first segment here. Weeks 1 and 2 are absolutely brutal. There are very few knowns in the NFL. Like last year at this time, I was telling you how the Patriots are a winnable game for the Saints at home. They went to the Super Bowl, okay? I don't think anybody had the Lions throwing up all over themselves last year, and they did. So you don't know anything. But your first 2 games are at Detroit and at Baltimore, and I do know those 2 quarterbacks, if they're healthy in week 1 and 2, which those are the healthiest weeks you would imagine, they are good. And those are great organizations at this point. Now, I know that's ridiculous to say about the Lions over the course of time, but let's be real about that organization right now. I know that they lost Glenn. I know that they lost Johnson, their coordinators that were so good on those great teams, and they didn't necessarily do as well last year. Shout out Kelvin Shepard, but they didn't have as good a year. But, like, the Lions have a lot of good players, and the Ravens have a lot of good players, and Jared Goff and Lamar Jackson are threats to win the MVP. So that is a brutal start to the season, the first 2 weeks. On the road, at Detroit, at Baltimore, brutal. Then you have something I didn't even know the NFL did. From September 20th, when you go to Baltimore, and November 22nd, when you go to Chicago, that is 2 months and 2 days. 2 months and 2 days. The Saints play one true road game. In 2 months and 2 days, one true road game. You better make it happen at that point. You might start 0-2, and I don't think anybody's going to send off any alarms if you lose to the Lions and the Ravens on the road. But you have the Raiders at home, which you probably get Kirk Cousins in that game and not Mendoza. But you get the Raiders at home, the Falcons at home, the Vikings at home. Then you go play the Giants, who probably aren't going to be that good. Then you go to Paris to play the Steelers. We'll see. Then you've got a bye week, and you come back for Browns-Panthers at home. 7 games, and one of them is a true road game. When does that happen in the NFL? It happens in college sometimes because you bake in all your home games in September. In the NFL, that does not happen. I think you need to go 5-2 over that schedule, and you at 4-3 is the bare minimum. If you have a losing record over that stretch, you can stick a fork in the Saints, to me. So that's some heat to get things cooking over that stretch. Raiders, Falcons, Vikings at home, at the Giants, Steelers in Paris. Then you have a bye week, come back, Browns and Panthers at home. You better get to work over those games, because after that, 4 of your next 5 games are on the road. You better hold on for dear life. You were at Chicago in late November. You were at Cincinnati in late November. Then you come home for the Packers, which is no picnic, and you go play 2 division games on the road at the Panthers and at Tampa. That's 5 weeks. 4 of them are road games, and the back 2 are in your division. Hold on for dear life there. Find a way over that stretch of 5 games to get a couple of wins. And if you do that, 2 of your last 3 are at home against a Cardinals team we don't think is going to be great. Then you go to Atlanta, where you can win there, and then you finish the season with Tampa at home. And you feel like you've got a chance to make that relevant. But it is a fascinating 17-game schedule. Brutal start. Time to really spread your wings and go. You need to hit stride when you come home to play the Raiders. And you need to get going. Then you got to hold on for dear life as November turns to December. And then your last 3 you can manage. But it seems very, very segmented to me. And it doesn't have a lot of back and forth to it. It's just like, go, hold on, go. It's fascinating. And Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net did his very early, way too early, look at, hey, what does this look like for the Saints? And he had him at 10 wins. And I didn't think that Ross got out over his skis on those projections. You can go read it for free at LouisianaSports.net. But as we looked at this, that's what jumped out to me just looking at the schedule. Now, if we go back to my preview of the schedule, I started with a few things. Okay, rookie quarterback Mendoza, you would probably want to get him late and he's out on the field. You didn't, so you're going to get Cousins. So you're probably not going to play a rookie quarterback. Things happen. People get hurt. We'll see. You're probably not going to play a rookie quarterback. New coaches, well, you're catching a few early. You're catching Baltimore early. You're catching the Falcons early. You're catching the Giants early. You're catching the Steelers in the first half. So you are catching some of the first-year head coaches early in the schedule, which I think is good. The bye week is obviously very important. You wanted to have it before Paris potentially, or a Thursday night game before Paris. You don't get that. Now, you get an easier flight from New York to Paris, but you get the bye on the back end of Paris, which I think is a positive thing. And then we looked at cold weather. And you do have a couple that are going to be chilly potentially. You've got at Chicago on November 22nd, and you're at the Bengals on November 29th. But that's really all the cold weather you're going to get. Charlotte could conceivably be chilly there in December, but it's not Chicago. It's not Green Bay. It's not, one of those brutal cold. It's not Buffalo. Your 2 coldest are right there at the end of November, which, you could catch, 45, 50-degree day there, but you could catch 20. So I again, I don't think that's as big a deal for this team. We talked to Luke about it yesterday. Luke said, yeah, they should be, from a football standpoint, able to handle the cold weather conditions because of the way that they're built. However, these are guys that are practicing in South Louisiana every day and are not dealing with that temperature. It'll be a shock to the system once you get up there, but we'll see. Overall, I think the NFL gave you an opportunity to continue your momentum early in the season, if you believe in that. The Saints obviously finished strong last year. They gave you a punch in the face early, but if you can split those first two games at Detroit, at Baltimore, you can go 1-1. You're going to be feeling really good coming home to play the Raiders. Really good coming home to play the Raiders. And then you got the Falcons in the Dome coming. That's going to be an insane environment on Monday Night Football. The Vikings, who knows what they're going to be. You got a chance to win that game. I don't really believe in the Giants at this point with Jackson Dart. And then you go play the Steelers. Like, you've got a chance to really turn things on and get that city feeling great. And I think that's something that I'm cognizant of more so these days than I was 5 years ago, than I was 6 years ago. Because with Breeze, the city was always buzzing about the Saints. And then it went away. Like, it went away because of the bad couple of years after Breeze, and then you had the Derek Carr situation, and, like, the organization just fell flat. Nobody liked Dennis Allen near the end. Nobody liked Derek Carr near the end. And the city certainly didn't tune the Saints out. I would never suggest that. It's the heartbeat of that city. But the vibes were bad. And you saw late last year they started to pick up. And right now you're feeling pretty good about it. And I want that so badly to keep going. And it's a tough start, Detroit and Baltimore, but you've got that opportunity to make that city come alive. But you've got to play well early on. You've got to get your ball rolling when you come back and play the Raiders, and then you got the Dome coming for the Falcons. And if they can do that, maybe get to 3-1. Like, that's not a impossible ask to get to 3-1. And if you can get to 3-1, man, all of a sudden it's going to be awesome in New Orleans. And that's something that's been missing. We had a blip on the radar 2 years ago with that 2-0 start. A minor blip on the radar. But beyond that, you haven't had the city just roaring for the Saints. And that needs to come back. And this schedule, I think, does give you that opportunity. You just got to take advantage of it. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able, in the stretch at Chicago, at the Bengals, Packers at home, at Panthers, at Tampa. That's just not a reasonable place to get rolling. Anything's possible in that league, but it's just not a reasonable place to get rolling. So I like that there is a good stretch there early. I can't believe they go 2 months and they play once in a true road game. You better cook over that window if you are Kellen Moore, Tyler Shuck, and the New Orleans Saints. I'm hopeful that they will. Ross thinks they do. He's got them at 10 wins. I love that projection. I'm hoping for it. But I think the schedule is very, very fascinating. Now, we kind of sit and wait a little bit. You got some OTAs coming up, and training camp feels like a long way away at this point. The schedule release following the draft is kind of the hyperdrive of the offseason with veteran free agency a little bit before that. Now, it's kind of the doldrums. We'll see how things go, but I like the Saints schedule. Got to get cooking, though, in late September. Got to. That's a look at New Orleans' schedule. We'll come back, get you an update from Aronimink. We'll talk to Marlon Favorite coming up in about 15 minutes about LSU. And former player relations, I'm interested from a guy who certainly played, won a national championship, and is now part of the program with the LSU Sports Radio Network. So we'll talk to Big Fave coming up at 2 o'clock. Some baseball talk coming your way in hour number 2 as well. Don't go anywhere. Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Oxner wants to remind you that May is Stroke Awareness Month. And I've been telling you all month long about the acronym BEFAST, B-E-F-A-S-T. Balance and eyes. If the person is unable to maintain proper balance, take a look at that. The person's vision's affected or their eyes deviated to one side, that could be signs and indications of a stroke. On FAST, face. Does one side of the face droop or is it numb? A is arms. Is one arm weak or is it numb? S is speech. Is the speech slurred? And time. If these symptoms show up, even if they go away, you need to monitor them and potentially alert the authorities, call 911, or get to an emergency room. Again, it's Stroke Awareness Month. BEFAST is that acronym. Our friends at Oxner want you to be aware and be fast.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Time for a new ride for you? Got just the place, Fabry Chevrolet GMC. You're online at fabrychevrolet.com. We obviously live in a clicks world these days. So if you want to start your buying process online, you can certainly do it at fabrychevrolet.com. The entire inventory is there. If you're looking for new vehicles, they've got them. If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, they've got those as well. So check out that inventory online. But I highly suggest you just take that short drive to St. Francisville and see them. They're on Highway 61 if you're in Baton Rouge, a hop, skip, and a jump north. If you're north of town in Baker, Zachary, over in Scotlandville or New Roads, Feliciana's, you can go see them quite simply. And they've got a great team over there. Their customer service is second to none. The Fabry family has built their business on that, and that's why they've been here and been successful for 35 years. You can trust them to give you that great buying experience and service after the sale is done. So if you're looking for a Chevy Tahoe, looking for a Chevy Suburban, maybe Silverado, they've got it on the GMC side. They got your Sierras. They've got your Yukons, Denali's. It's all there at Fabry Chevrolet on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. You can find them online at fabrychevrolet.com, fabrychevrolet.com. All right, we've got ourselves shaped up for quite a nice PGA Championship weekend as it stands right now. Nobody really able to separate over at Aronimink just outside of Philly. Right now, Alex Smalley, Aldrich Potgieter, and Minwoo Lee lead the way at 4 under par. Hideki Matsuyama fired a great round this morning of 3 under 67. He is 3 under for the tournament, tied there with Chris Gotterup, Jason Day, Steven Yeager, and Ryo Hitsatsune. But right there lurking is just a ton of talent. You've got Cam Young, 2 shots off the lead. Justin Thomas, 2 shots off the lead. Scotty Scheffler, 2 shots off the lead. Xander Schauffele, 2 shots off the lead. like tons of guys who can really make a run and still under par right now. Jordan Spieth's under par. Brooks Koepka's under par. Ricky Fowler's playing better. He's 1 under par. Patrick Cantley's 1 under par. And it feels like the scores might be a little lower this afternoon. The winds died down a little bit. But the fear was that they were just going to run over this golf course because it doesn't have a lot of trees. And Rory McIlroy said earlier this week, you just bomb it down there and you can hit it up there. Well, they have done a great job of pinning the greens to make it very difficult to get access to the hole locations. And the wind has blown a little bit. It certainly blew a lot this morning. And those guys were struggling for sure. So it's going to be a very fascinating weekend. There are a lot of really good names on that leaderboard. And it just doesn't feel like that really low round is out there where someone can separate. And that just keeps everybody bunched together. I think it's going to be really, really entertaining. I was looking for Sam Burns from a local perspective. He is well inside the cut line right now. Right now, the projected cut is at 3 over par, and Sam is a couple shots inside of that. But you gotta play out there. There's some big numbers that could be lurking if you're not careful and get yourself on the wrong side of a hole. He's 1 over par on the tournament. He is 1 over today. And is through 6 holes in his round today. One of the funniest things I've seen on a golf tournament in some time, I saw earlier today when they put a timer on Garrick Higgo's tee time. And they showed him on the practice area, like, here's how long he has to tee off. If you missed it, Garrick Higgo was late to his tee time yesterday and was assessed a 2-shot penalty. Had he not been 30 seconds late for his tee time, he would have been in the co-lead. And he was not because he was 30 seconds late for his tee time. And then he proceeded to go on this media tour yesterday suggesting, well, I was only 30 seconds late. I was really there on time, but I wasn't on time. You know what I'm saying? It was just ridiculous, ridiculous set of circumstances. People thought potentially, did he have to go to the bathroom or did he have to, was there some reason he had to be late? No, he just dilly-dallied, just didn't get there on time, 2-shot penalty. It's ridiculous. It was a humorous thing, and ESPN kind of took it and ran with it earlier today. So that's a look at your leaderboard at the PGA Championship. If you want my projection for a winner, I kind of like Cameron Young right now. You're talking about a guy who is in the clubhouse at 2 under. He's playing as well as anybody in the world right now, and he's at 2 under par. That's just 2 shots off the lead. I don't think that the guys in the lead right now, Smalley, Potgieter, and Lee, are going to win this tournament. So if you bump that back down, you've got a real opportunity for some of those guys to come get it. So looking forward to the weekend at the PGA at Aronimink. Should be a solid weekend of golf. A little bit of news here from an LSU football perspective that I'll pass along. The worst kept secret in college football. Pete Nakos is now reporting it. It appears that College Game Day is going to be headed to Oxford, Mississippi in week 3. So nationally, you're going to have LSU, the face of College Game Day, 2 of the first 3 weeks of the season. You'll have the season opener against Clemson. Game Day has already announced they will be in Tiger Stadium for that. And then after LSU plays Louisiana Tech week 2, you go to Oxford for Lane-Agedon, and you'll have College Game Day there for that one as well. We knew that was coming. Reese Davis was on the morning show. I think that was yesterday. I think that maybe it was today. It was today. So he was on today. Didn't confirm that, but Pete Nakos is essentially reporting it. So that's obviously where they're going to be. That's just going to be. There's going to be so much talk leading up to that game about that. I'm gonna have fatigue over it. I'm already telling you that. I'm telling you that in May. I'm gonna have fatigue over it. I don't know how much we'll talk about that at Media Days in Tampa in July, but after LSU comes off the field against Clemson, win or lose, it's just going to be talk about that for 2 weeks, and I will be fatigued over it. It's maybe I'm being contrarian. I'm not intentionally doing it, but it might just be my natural inclination to be contrarian on this because everyone's just going nuts over this game. And the fact of the matter is that Lane Kiffin is going to be the coach at LSU for 3, 5, 7, 10 years. One game is not going to define the era. And if Ole Miss purports itself to be a program that's arrived on the national scene and doesn't need Lane Kiffin and is going to be just fine because they've got the machine, the collective, and Golding was doing all the recruiting anyway, and all the things that they will tell you in Oxford, well, that's just one game too. And one game doesn't knock you out of the playoff mix. This is not the BCS where you lose a game, you could be in trouble. You got 2 games of wiggle room. So maybe that's just me being contrarian. Maybe it is just a massive, massive game, and the winner gets all the bragging rights, and the loser is just embarrassed for eternity. But I'm just not there. Maybe it's because it's May and it's not here. I don't know. And I certainly won't be in Oxford for that game, and I don't know how much Tiger presence there will be. And I understand the vitriol that will come at Lane Kiffin. And trust me, just like Preston said earlier in this hour, I understand that the Ole Miss fans hate him, that they're going to turn that thing up to 11 that day. And they should. I held it against John Chavis when he left, and he was a freaking defensive coordinator. Okay, like I get it, but I as I sit here, I'm gonna get fatigue over this whole thing. But it makes all the sense in the world for game day to be there. It would be asinine for them not to be there. It'll be the best environment on campus in the country that week in week 3 of the season, and LSU will be in front of the nation. And to put it two different ways, like LSU could fall flat if you're 1-2 after game day shows up twice and you've lost to Clemson and Ole Miss. Like you got some antsy people around here. If you're 3-0, Katie bar the door. Like we'll see. But in any event, either way, LSU will be front and center of college football 2 of the first 3 weeks in September. Game day announced they'll be in Baton Rouge for the opener. They will be in Oxford for week 3. Lane's return to Ole Miss. Sorry, that's it for hour number 1. If you missed any of hour number 1, I went over LSU in Florida on the Diamond last night. Also talked to Preston Guy about Tiger football. You can catch our LSU content at Hunt on LSU, not only on YouTube, but wherever you find your podcast. Just search Hunt on LSU, and you'll get my LSU content. If you're looking for Saints, we talk Saints schedule in the first hour, and you can also catch that at Hunt on Saints on YouTube, wherever you find your podcasts. Plenty of discussion on a fast-moving hour number 1. In hour 2, we got some more baseball to talk about. We'll do some of that. May hear some sound from Jay Johnson later on. But Big Fabe is going to jump aboard to start hour number 2. I want to hear about former player relations. Verge Osbury talked about it with Brian Kelly. He's talked about it with Lane Kiffin. Big Fabe's one of those former players. I want his perspective on how this all goes. Our Friday shows are brought to you by Corks. We'll pause for Sports Center and national headlines. Back at hour 2 next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
But first, I'm going to tell you about Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com is the website, but go by, see them. It's an awesome facility there on Segan at Perkins. You can work on your golf game. You can socialize. And they've got a league that's starting up in June. And if you want to join that league, well, you can just go through Swing Easy to do it, or you can win a spot in the league through us. Hit our text line up. It's brand new, 225-499-1045. Easy enough, 225-499-1045. Text Swing Easy, one word, Swing Easy. We'll take all the entrants. We'll pick 2 teams. Only one of your teammates needs to to text in. We'll pick 2 teams. Y'all will play each other in a scramble format for a spot in the Swing Easy Golf Club League. If you want to play some simulator golf league games weekly, well, text our text line, 499-1045 in the 225 area code. Text Swing Easy and get in there. Get by Swing Easy this weekend. They're on Segan at Perkins. SwingEasyGCBR.com.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Every ounce of Raising Cane's lemonade has been hand-squeezed that day from fresh lemons before being served over our signature crushed ice. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 25 Jeep Grand Cherokee with $15,000 off MSRP.
Plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Waiting to rise again.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Corks, Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, brought to you by Corks, Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp. Working towards the weekend. I hope that work week's in the rearview mirror for you. If not, we will get you to the finish line here over the next couple of hours. I'm only here for one of them. I'm going to start it with my guy, Big Fave. Who else would I start it with? Marlon Favorite, former Tiger, national champ, member of the LSU Sports Radio Network. My partner in crime during the fall, and here with us to start hour number 2. Big Fave, how we doing?
Well, hello, somebody. What's up, Hunter Palmer?
I'm hanging in there.
Palmer,
oh my God, it feels like the fall. It's a magical time. All right, Fave, I want to talk to you about something that I've read this week. Verge Ausberry was talking with USA Today, and he suggested that Lane Kiffin has a more open door policy, a better player relationship with former players around the program. And that's not something I can speak to. You played through 2008. You played for Coach Miles. Coach Miles was the coach after you left. You've been here through Ed Ogeron. You've been here through Brian Kelly, now Lane Kiffin. I just want to hear about how involved or not involved former players are and whether or not there are changes from one coach to the next. Have you experienced that?
Yeah, I've experienced it. Coach Miles, like once you finish playing for him, is not the most inviting place.
Okay.
But he would be happy to see it sometimes. Like, what's up, Big Fave? But it's not the same energy as if like a Glenn Darcy walked through the door. And I'm not throwing Glenn under the bus. It's just that, Tyson Jackson, Patrick Peterson, those are the players that, quote unquote, made him look good. I'm just keeping in the dollar, right? So then you have Coach Ed Ogeron. Well, he's not just opening the door. He's pulling you in the door.
Okay.
Right? So with Coach O, our first few years working with LSU Sports Radio, I would go over there. Like, one thing we would do, we would go sit and eat with breakfast with the team sometimes. He was really big on that, right? You never have like a Greg Stringfellow saying, hey, stop, you can't come in here, nothing like that. Very open. So I'm trying to go catch up with you and BT. He wants you to stay around and hang and talk and watch and talk film with the kids. Very open door policy, right?
Yep.
So when Coach Kelly came in, I did feel a difference. It's almost like he was trying to do it his way. You can only do it the Tiger way, baby. It's open door policy, period. You can walk in any room you want to walk in if you played here before. So being the fact that, you got Coach Kiffin, he's a guy in his late 40s. He understands the culture. What he doesn't understand, he wants to learn and know. And I just feel like when you have that type of environment, you win big-time games, and you and I know the best season you and I have ever experienced, player, no player, has been 2019, and that's the type of winning energy we have to keep around.
Have you ever gone over there, even if it's Brian Kelly or with Les Miles, and, like, somebody said, hey, not right now, like, don't come in here? Has that ever happened?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Okay.
Like, because it's certain times, right? Like, I guess, Coach doesn't want anybody who's not on the team around. When Coach Ed Ogeron was over there, that was never a thing. Never. This dude was so – and we saw it. We saw it in less than 3 years, or right at 3 years, he turned the entire program around. You think back to the 2017 season and what it was, and then we had Joe Burrow come in and do what he did the 2 years, and it's all about the environment.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, do you think that's important to have former players around, to have them involved?
Yes, indeed. It is super important. And I hope some of our former players are listening right now, because one thing that they are doing right now at LSU is they want the former players. So we're going to have a weekend. We're going to have a Thursday, a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday. Bring your family, too. Well, we're just going to hang out with Lane Kiffin. We're going to hang out with the Tigers. We're going to get in the cold tub, hot tub. They're going to schedule us a workout. We can go watch this. That is how you do it. That is how you do it. So to answer your question, yeah, I felt the difference. You and I have the beauty of working there Coach O's first year, and I can express to you what it was a few years prior to that versus now. Yeah. It's a big difference. It just is, huh?
How do you feel about Lane Kiffin being the head coach at LSU, not with player relations, just in terms of what the direction the program's headed in?
I like it. To be honest with you, this was my first time seeing him in person today. Now, we didn't speak. I mean, the guy had to go work out. He kind of gave me one of those ham nods, So I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but I feel the difference. I was just at the facility just a minute ago with Pastor Floyd, and we were just talking and just looking at. I stopped and I talked to Jack Marucci. So you have an environment that's already intact. You have people like, congratulations to her, like Lyell Lofton, who's been there for years, right? Still around. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's cool, bro. Like I said, Coach, my boy went got a little workout. He getting his Ed Ogeron on, had his shirt off, running hot day in Baton Rouge. So look at Coach getting in the yard and fit in.
Big Fave, Marlon Favorite is our guest here on the LSU Sports Radio Network. Former Tiger and national champion, joins me on pre- and post-game for football season. Also makes some appearances on our morning show during the fall as well. All right, I can't have you on without talking about D-line, and I know that's your passion here. I'll be honest with you, it's May, so it doesn't really matter. I'm a little bit concerned about the interior defensive line because I know the best LSU teams have dominated up there, and I don't know if I see dominant players ready to go at the defensive tackle spot. You've got Dominic McKinley back. You bring in Malik Blockton from Auburn. Stephylon Green comes in from Clemson as well. And then you got the young bucks. You got Richard Anderson. You've got Deuce Geralds, who comes in from Atlanta. And, of course, you will have Lamar Brown here soon. What do you know about this group of defensive linemen? How do you feel about it? You know better than me.
So the babies, right? So Deuce Geralds, his dad was my roommate and teammate with the New Orleans Voodoo.
Okay.
So I had the pleasure of watching him since he was a little kid. He came on Inside the Trenches podcast a couple of times. And from what I saw from 24/7 Sports, Tiger Bait, that's one thing I didn't get a chance to watch in the spring practices, but those clips, he looks elusive. I've been hearing great things about my West Bank brother, and Richard Anderson. So it seems like this young group is going to experience a lot of playing time. But to your point, we don't have a lot of veterans up front. We do have Dominique McKinley coming back. He has some playing experience. So my concern radars are up just a tad bit. I talked to Coach People a little earlier. Me and him go back from when he was at Tulane. So you have the right ingredients, right, to coach these guys up. But you have to be mature, and you have to understand SEC play. So I'm with you, Hunt. It is May, but I am definitely a bit concerned in terms of experience up front. But the talent is for sure there.
Whit Weeks came on our morning show this morning and said that in year 3 under Blake Baker, you return Whit Weeks, you return Devon Keys, DJ Pickett, PJ Woodland, TaMarcus Cooley, Deshaun Spears, Dominic McKinley. Like, there's a lot of guys back that played a lot last year, and it's Baker's 3rd year with the defense. He said they actually added to the defense this spring, put in some new schemes, put some 3-down looks in. How much different do you expect this defense to be in year 3 under Blake Baker, where the offense is completely remade, but Blake Baker's had a little bit of continuity?
I'm with that. Not only the continuity, it's just the fact that he's been there long enough to be able to put his pieces together and see the areas he feels needs to make the adjustments and then adjust to the talent you have. You got a 300-plus pound nose guard. Baby in the middle is going to probably get a lot of playing time. We may have to go to a 3-4 look, right? Put some more linebackers on the field, and at the same token, put ourselves in a position to give different looks. So if you're watching the tape from last year, it might look slightly different this year, right? We're the most talented and the most experienced in the secondary and at the linebacker position. So I can understand mixing in some of those 3-man looks just to add a little, not only experience on the field, but more speed.
We shall see. He is Big Fave, Marlon Favorite, partner in crime with me on the LSU Sports Radio Network. Me, Brandon Taylor, Marlon, been at it for a decade now at this point, and shows up from time to time on our morning show. You can find him inside the Trenches podcast as well. Fave, have a great summer. It'll be football season before we know it.
You better believe it. Year 10. Wow, gosh, bro. I'm flying.
It sure does. Be good, Fave. Behave yourself.
All right. I'll try.
That's Marlon Favorite, Big Fave. He's the best. Love him, and that's great perspective. That Ed Orgeron was so big on former players being around, and Brian Kelly kind of wanted to control things a little bit more. I can see both sides of it. I would probably lean more towards the Ed Orgeron side. What Lane Kiffin is doing, we're getting guys involved and creating a sense of camaraderie. And I understand at times Brian Kelly wanting to batten down the hatches and make sure that everybody is focused and you don't have just a bunch of people walking around the facility. I get both sides. I think that's in my personality. We've talked about that. We do a personality test here at Guarantee, and I'm an Enneagram 9, which means nothing to most of you, but one of the things in my personality is to see both sides of things. And I do see both sides of that. I lean towards the Ed Orgeron side. I want guys around. I want this to feel like a family. I want guys to be proud of where they played and come around. But I understand not wanting to have just a bunch of people walking around meeting rooms and in the workout facility and all that kind of stuff. Like, I get it both sides of it, but Fave has experienced it and he's seen it. And he backed up Verge saying, hey, with Brian Kelly, it was a little bit tougher to have guys around, and Ed Orgeron threw his arms around those guys. So it sounds like that's where things are headed. Lane Kiffin, I do believe this. I believe that Lane Kiffin is going to speak with Ed Orgeron from time to time about LSU, because while it ended messy with Ed Orgeron, obviously, I do believe in Ed Orgeron's bones, he wants LSU to be very successful. I believe that. He says that. You can say anything. I do believe that. And I think that he and Lane Kiffin have a good relationship. And I think that he wants Lane Kiffin to succeed at LSU. And I think that there is some advantage to Lane Kiffin having Nick Saban and Ed Orgeron as guys he can speak with to draw from on being the head coach at LSU. I think that's a good thing. Is it going to add up to more wins? I can't say that, but I just think that's a positive. That maybe I'm reaching there, but I think it's probably a positive. Appreciate Big Fave for giving us a little bit of time here on this Friday. We're brought to you by Cork's Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp. When we come back, let's switch gears back to baseball, LSU, and Florida tonight. We'll talk about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. FABT.com is the website. Bank local. bank with the company that's been right here in Southeast Louisiana for 116 years. They've grown over that century plus to 25 locations. They've got the resources that those big national banks have, but they've got the personal touch that you're looking for in a community bank. The people that make the decisions on your personal loan or your commercial loan are local. They're here in Southeast Louisiana. They're not in Atlanta. They're not in LA. They're local. They're right here. So you can feel that community feel with the resources you're looking for in a bank. So if you're looking for that commercial loan for your business, if you're looking for that personal loan for the house you've always wanted, First American Bank and Trust is happy to help you. 25 locations, whether it's St. Tammany, Tangipahoa, St. John, Lafourche, Terrebonne, East Baton Rouge, New Orleans, wherever you are. First American Bank and Trust, there's a location nearest you. Check them out online at fabt.com. First American Bank and Trust.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
All of our shows brought to you by the Highland Insurance Group, online at highlandig.com. Highlandig.com is that website. They're experts over there in insurance. I was in the business for 7 years. I kind of know how a lot of things go. And oftentimes, business owner just takes a couple proposals from different agents and just picks the lowest premium. And there's nothing technically wrong with that. It's just one way to do it. But if you have done it that way and you're a business owner, and you're just not really sure what your insurance program says, let the Howard Insurance Group take a look at it and make sure you're not compromised, because there are ways to cut corners in insurance to cut premium to win business. But on the back end, if there is a uncovered loss, it can get nasty. I've seen that. Don't let that happen. Let the Howland Insurance Group come in, audit your policies. If it's great, they'll tell you it's great. Leave it right there. If there are significant issues, they'll help you fix them. Make sure that you get that done proactively instead of after the hurricane, after the car accident, after one of your employees clicks a link that he or she should not have clicked, after that workers' comp claim. Make sure that you're proactive about it with your insurance. The Howland Insurance Group will do that for you. Jonathan Carbo and his team are phenomenal folks. They do great work. I've seen it with my own eyes. I know that business, and they do it well. So trust the Howland Insurance Group with your commercial insurance program. They do group and employee benefits as well if you're looking for a second option there. It's the Howland Insurance Group. They're online at highlandig.com, highlandig.com. All right, tonight LSU and Florida will play in a baseball game that I don't expect LSU to win. That's okay because they're not really trying to win. They showed that last night when they played game one of a weekend series. They did not use William Schmidt. They did not use Kason Evans. They did not use Zach Cowan. They did not use Devin Sheeran. They did not use Marcos Paz. They did not use Gavin Guidry. They did not use Santiago Garcia. They just did not use any high leverage arms that they have used. Now, you can argue how reliable those arms have been, but they are the guys that LSU has turned to try to win baseball games, and none of them pitched last night. LSU is not trying to win games. If they do win, that's okay. And I'm not telling you that if they get a 2-run lead in the 8th inning, that Devin Sheeran's not coming in tonight. But they never led last night because they gave a grand slam on the 4th batter of the game. So they weren't trying to win, and they're not making winning the ultimate priority tonight. Jay Johnson said that last night. He said it makes him sick to his stomach that that's where they are, but it is. So I'm not here to significantly preview Liam Peterson, Florida starting pitcher tonight, who's got insane stuff. Sometimes he has no idea where it's going, and sometimes he gets shelled, but he's got insane stuff, and he could be a first-round pick. I'm not here to tell you how to navigate through Florida's lineup. That's not really the point. That's what I would be doing in most circumstances this time of year, but it's not worthwhile. But this program, as I mentioned in the first segment today, and if you've been with us for an hour and 21 minutes, I appreciate it, but it's going to be a little bit of a rehash from the different perspective. We're going to go pitching instead of hitting. I opened with hitting. But it's the same type of deal. This season is lost. This season was awful. Everyone associated with the program, every fan, every analyst, every national talking head, everyone would suggest this has been an awful year. But the program doesn't shut down because you've had an awful year. The program keeps going. And I badly want new blood in this pitching staff. I think they need new arms. Some of these freshmen could be uber talented. They can get them through the draft, and I'd like to go in the portal. I will be a little bit uncomfortable. I'll just say this. It's May, and I'll say this about next February. If next year, I don't know who LSU is going to open with, but if they open and it's Evan Schmidt and more, I'm going to feel uneasy about that. I like all three of those guys. I want all three of those guys on the team. But if you run it back with this rotation, I'll be uneasy about that. I'd like one or two portal guys with starting experience and see if these freshmen come along. And, oh, by the way, there are some young pitchers on this staff that might get a shot. And Marcos Paz is one of those. And so tonight is his last, potentially, SEC outing. He may pitch next week if LSU advances, but he's not going to pitch on Tuesday. That's going to be a Schmidt, Evans, Cowan type deal. And then maybe if they get to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, he'll pitch. But he's a possibility because he's got great stuff. And tonight is his last time against an SEC opponent. He may go off to Cape Cod this year. He may go off to the Northwoods League. He'll pitch in the fall. There will be more time for him to impress the coaches, but this could be his last chance against an SEC lineup. And I would like to see him go out there and handle his business because there have been instances where he has really shown something. The South Carolina outing was against South Carolina. Their offense is putrid, awful. But he did go 5 innings of one-run baseball in that outing, and I thought it was really good. His 2 innings against Texas A&M were fantastic. 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, had 3 strikeouts, only 1 walk. He was great against Texas A&M. He had a great inning against Northwestern State earlier this year. He had a great inning against Tennessee this year that was really impressive. There have been some good outings. Now, there have been stinkers. Georgia annihilated him last week. An inning and a third. He gave up 5 hits and 7 earned runs. That's not good. Georgia's awesome. That park's conducive to hitting. Okay, he's a freshman. It happens. But tonight, you're facing a Florida lineup that is just smack dab in the middle of the SEC. I went through the numbers yesterday. If you look at SEC games for this Florida team, they're 10th in the league in batting average, 9th in home runs, 10th in doubles, 9th in on base, 11th in runs scored. Like, it's not a prolific Florida offense. They're good. They may have the first pick in the draft for next year, hitting the 2-hole. They've got some talent, no question. But this is a lineup that if Paz is good, he can navigate. And I would really, really, really like it if he gave you 4 solid innings tonight in his final audition for this coaching staff on a meaningful playing field. Cape Cod's got a lot of talent. That's not meaningful baseball. Northwoods League's got some good players, not meaningful baseball. Fall ball, you'll be fishing against the LSU lineup that's probably pretty good. Not meaningful baseball. This is supposedly meaningful baseball. I know I've dismissed the wins and losses, but Florida's playing hard, and that's who he's facing. I would really like it if Marcos Paz could give me an outing tonight that makes me in January go, hey, remember that Paz outing against Florida? That was pretty good. The same thing that you would have said about Cade Anderson in the regional when he went out there and really pitched well in Chapel Hill. Now, I'm not comparing him immediately to Cade Anderson. He's going to be the 3rd pick in the draft, okay? But you know that there are pitchers that have those outings and make you go, okay, he did. That looked pretty good. Maybe there's more in there. I want Paz to make a push here to be in that rotation next year. Maybe he's just an elite bullpen guy because he's got great stuff, and he might be a 2-inning guy, and that may be a role he fills. But this is an opportunity against a middle-of-the-road SEC lineup to show me something. I would rather Marcos Paz go out there and give me 4 innings of shutout baseball and LSU lose than Marcos Paz get shelled, taken out of the game, and LSU seniors come back and win the game. Those guys' time is in Hoover, and then it's over. Paz has 2 more years in this program. So while tonight's win-loss record, win or loss doesn't matter to me. It sucks, but it is what it is. I didn't tell you the Texas Bowl mattered this year, and I'm not going to tell you this game matters. I hate saying it out loud, but I'm not going to sell you a ridiculous bit of goods and say, hey, let's see if they can get hot right now. No. Paz is important. That's a guy that needs to be a part of this pitching staff next year, needs to be a big part of that pitching staff next year, needs to finish on a high note. And tonight, he gets that opportunity. So I'll be locked in. Again, you're not going to see William Schmidt this weekend. You're not going to see Kason Evans this weekend. Jay Johnson said that last night, said it makes him sick to his stomach that he's going out there without those guys. And that's because he knows that he's going to try to win in Hoover. I'm going to be watching Marcos Paz tonight. I'd like to see that breaking ball be commanded, fastball good, miss some barrels, show some emotion, get some outs. Because an overhaul is coming to what they do with this pitching. I wrote about it this morning at LouisianaSports.net. Jay Johnson talked about it yesterday. You are going to see significant changes. That's in personnel. That's in off-season work. That's in fall ball. That's in all kinds of stuff. This pitching staff has been an abject disaster for the entirety of the season. You cannot go to Starkville and score 8 in every game and lose every game. You cannot go to Athens and just give up 1,000 runs. You cannot walk 24 guys in a weekend in Athens. They walked 13 more last night. Can't do it. Something's got to change with this pitching staff. Some of that is going to come with new players coming in, and I want that badly. They need to go get a portal dude from somewhere. I went through the names yesterday of guys that have transferred into places and been stars in the SEC. Chase Dolander, Hurston Waldrop, Liam Doyle, Anthony Ianson. You've seen it all kinds of places. LSU needs to do that. But they also need to develop the guys that are on this roster. Now, I want Marcos Paz to go out there tonight and show me something. Win or lose, give me 4 good innings. I feel like if you see Paz really cooking through 4 innings, Jay Johnson will probably remove him to save him for Hoover. So I'm not asking for 6 1/3 tonight. I could see a scenario where Jay Johnson sees his young pitcher growing up a little bit and says, hey, that's more important than Hoover right now. Let's do that. My gut tells me the first is more likely that he would pull him. We'll see. I can't get in Jay Johnson's head about that. But I'm excited to watch him pitch tonight. And, of course, I'm excited to watch those young guys hit. Liam Peterson is a stud in terms of his stuff. And last night, Mason Braun had 3 good at-bats. Omar Cerna had a couple extra base hits, including a 409-foot home run. You saw good swings from Cade Arambidi early in the game. I like that kind of stuff, and I want to see more of that. But tonight is mostly about Paz because this is his last chance. The other guys will hit on Saturday. They'll hit on Tuesday. We'll see, and they've really done their job to this point. They've emerged as go-to guys on this team and in this program. I want Paz to take that step tonight. So that's what I'm looking for at the box this evening. LSU in Florida at 6:30 tonight. It'll be on Eagle 98.1. You'll catch a pregame show with Buzzy Heidel and Chris Blair at 6 o'clock over there from Alec Buck Stadium, Skip Bertman Field. We got 30 minutes left to go. Come back with us. The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com. They want you to know that they absolutely have a wonderful inventory of pre-owned vehicles if that's what you're looking for. They've got lightly used vehicles in great condition at wonderful prices. Go check them out online at FabryChevrolet.com. You can see the entire inventory right there. There's a tab. You can click on the new vehicles. You can click on the pre-owned vehicles. They've got a great functional website that you can sort by make. You can sort by model. You can sort by pricing. You can sort by mileage. All that is available to you right there on the website at FabryChevrolet.com. I highly suggest you go start there and then make your way to the dealership. It's on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. And they do phenomenal work there. You're going to have a wonderful, wonderful buying experience at Fabry Chevrolet. That's because the Fabry family has done that for Baton Rouge families for 35 years. You could be next. Go see them today. Go see them tomorrow. They're open on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. As always, you can check out that inventory at FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is marinated, battered by hand, and cooked to order to perfection. We don't have heat lamps, because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Chugging along here on a Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. CorksFishandShrimp.com is where you can find them on the website, CorksFishandShrimp.com. you don't mind, get you a po' boy. It's fantastic to get you a big old jumbo Gulf shrimp po' boy. You can also lean on Corks for your catering needs. If you got a graduation party coming up, you're feeding the office, got a family reunion coming up this summer, no matter what the case may be, check out Corks. They love to feed in bulk. They can get you those big trays, the crispy fried catfish, jumbo Gulf shrimp, shoestring fries, tons of sauces. They can get your honey butter rolls as well. Great, great stuff over there at Corks. Find them on Government between Foster and Jefferson. They bring you our Friday shows each and every week. Just a nugget that I saw. I saw this on Twitter. It said the only starting pitchers with an ERA under 2.2 and a strikeout rate of at least 30% this season are Kyle Harrison, who's with the Brewers, unfortunately, and then Paul Skeens and Jacob Mizorowski. Now, Paul Skeens, pitched at LSU, did a pretty good job. Jacob Mizorowski was supposed to be on that team. Now, he signed professionally, and that happens all over the country. I'm not suggesting that LSU is alone here in having players that signed with LSU and then ended up in the professional ranks because they got drafted really high. But it's just interesting to play around with hypotheticals, right? It's a Friday afternoon. I'm going to play with hypotheticals. You could have had a staff, conceivably, with Jacob Mizorowski, who throws 102, Paul Skeens, who throws 102, Chase Shores, who got injured on that team, is a freshman, who ended up throwing 102. And then Grant Taylor got hurt on that team as well. Keep in mind, Grant Taylor in the big leagues this year is throwing the ball awesome. He's pitched 21 1/3 innings, and his ERA is 2.11. He's got a 32-8 strikeout to walk ratio coming out of the White Sox bullpen. But that pitching staff could have featured, theoretically, in a hypothetical world, Paul Skeens, Jacob Mizorowski, Grant Taylor, Chase Shores, Ty Floyd. Like, that's some firepower that Jay Johnson worked on and got committed. And it's just something that I'm soaking in right now in this difficult time. I saw that tweet and I was like, yeah, that's a lot of talent that LSU has churned through. And there's every reason to believe that talent is going to come back. Bear with me here. I know that a lot of people are down on this team and can look at Jay Johnson's Southeastern Conference win percentage, and it's not sparkling. It's good, but it's not sparkling. Yes, he's coached here 5 seasons and hosted 2 regionals. You can skew the stats and tell a story that you want to tell. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to tell you that this signing class that Jay Johnson's got from the high school ranks is loaded. You're going to lose some guys, but it's loaded. But the turnstiles are going to continue to turn with the Derek Curiels and the Jake Browns and the Cade Arambides and the Omar Cernas and the Stephen Milams, and to go back a little bit and talk about the Jared Joneses and to talk about the great players LSU has brought into this program with Skeens and Anderson and Ianson and Jump and Holman and Herring. And this is elite level talent that has come into this program year over year over year. And that's not going to stop. They're going to be really talented next year. They've got to go get pitching. And Jay Johnson has done that in the past and will do it in the future. I truly believe this in my core. I believe that Jay Johnson went out and assembled a pitching staff with a ton of talent, and it just didn't work. William Schmidt did not have a great year. Kason Evans did not have a great year. Cooper Moore got hurt in the middle of the year. Maverick Rizzi regressed. Just happened. You went and got a couple left-handers, Santiago Garcia, Ethan Plog. They didn't have great years. Cooper Williams did not take a step forward. You look at Gavin Guidry's numbers. They're not great. He pitched in the middle of the plate too much. You just didn't develop a lot of talent. But you have here over time. This is not a program that is just Paul Skeens. It's not a program that lucked into Cade Anderson. They recruited Cade Anderson and developed him. It's the same thing they're going to continue to do. And I look at some of those guys who are in the big leagues who were either on LSU's team or signed to LSU, and I look at the signing class that's in the high school ranks, and I look at the opportunity in the transfer portal where Jay Johnson can camp out in his office instead of game planning for a regional and super, which all of us would rather he be doing, but he can host whoever he wants. He can get guys on campus. He won't be Zooming from an Omaha hotel room. He will get good players. Nate Yeske coached really good players at Oregon State and went to the College World Series. He coached really good players at LSU and went to the College World Series. He can coach really good players. LSU will get really good players. Now, you're going to lose some in the Major League Baseball draft coming up, but you're going to get really good players. I think this is a blip in the radar. And you're listening to, I guess, you're not talking to me, you're listening to a guy who wrote a column from Omaha that said, hey, this train is on the tracks. The nation better take watch. And LSU followed it up with the worst conference win percentage in the history of the program. So I got egg all over my face from that. But while I say that out of one side of my mouth, on the other side of my mouth, I'm going, he's going to get this fixed. And there's a segment of the fan base. Look, I'm reading my Twitter replies. I'm reading the Bayou Ford chat. I'm reading Tiger droppings. I'm on Shay's On 3 message board. I'm reading what y'all are saying. I get text messages. I have conversations. I'm in this. Like, I know where y'all are coming from. I know there are people that are going, hey, if it looks like this next year, the trouble. And I'm like, I'm not even going to humor that conversation today. If I get in that conversation this time next year, I will be happy to have it. It is literally the job. But I'm not going to sit here and suggest that the wheels are falling off or that this is just a Cade Anderson, Paul Skeens program. It's not. They've had 24 dudes come through this program in 5 years. 24. They're going to keep coming. This group just didn't work. They didn't execute. They didn't develop. They didn't coach them well. They didn't play well. They got some bad breaks. All of it fell apart. Jay Johnson knows he's got to recruit some more defense. He's going to do that with athleticism on the infield. He's going to fight like hell against the Major League Baseball draft. He's going to put a plan together for the guys in the summer. He's going to handle fall a little bit differently. And I think that next year is going to go very, very differently. I just kind of had that sparked in me when I looked at those numbers from Mizorowski and Skeens. And I thought about Grant Taylor, and I thought about Chase Shores, and I thought about Cade Anderson and Anthony Hyanson. The outlier is this. This is the outlier. This is the outlier. That team in 2024, after the Natty, they did not host a regional. They did not perform to the level of expectation. They won 13 league games and lost 17. Some of that had to do with the ridiculous schedule that they played and the Sunday starters that they saw. I guess I have a little bit of time. I'll get into it. For those that want some context on that 24 team, on consecutive Sundays, game threes, where LSU threw Holman and jump early and they didn't have a third starter, which is their fault. They should have had one, but they didn't have one. And that was probably going to be Chase Shores, and that didn't pan out because he had Tommy John the year before. But they faced in consecutive Sundays Jack Caglione, who went in the first round, Carter Holton, who I think went in the second round at Vanderbilt. He was the Friday night starter, but he had gotten bumped back for an injury and ended up pitching on Sunday. They faced Jerangelo Sanger, who went in the first round, the switch pitcher from Mississippi State. And they went to Fayetteville. So, they played a ridiculous slate of Sunday guys, and they got their brains beat in on Sundays. A couple of them led to sweeps. A couple of them led to series losses. They got off to such an awful start. They got their feet on the ground, and that team was good. It was a good team in May. So if you know the 2022 team got everything it possibly could out of a program that had no pitching left when he took over, and they got into the driver's seat of a regional and could have won in Hattiesburg, you know 23 was brilliant. You know 24 was good. You know 25 was good. The outlier is 26. This is the outlier. I don't believe it's going to happen again anytime soon. They're not going to win the national championship every year. I told you I thought it was ridiculous to say, well, he'll probably win 3 or 4 more. That's really hard to do. We have no perspective on that around here, but it's really hard to do. This is the outlier. He got everything he could have out of 22. They won it in 23. They were good in 24 once they got out of a ridiculous 5-week schedule. They were great in 25 and won it, and this is the outlier. The talent's going to keep coming through. And in baseball, like any sport, you put the talent on the field, more often than not, it will come through. They're going to do some things a little bit differently because of the way things have gone this year. But I believe in my bones that this is the right coach for the job, the best coach in the country, and the next year they'll be back and they'll be a force. If I'm wrong, you know where to find me. I'll be right here. It's all on YouTube, baby. It's all on podcasts. We can run the tape back. But I believe that they'll be back. I believe they'll be very good. They won't be tonight, but they will be back. Jacob Mrzarowski, pretty good. Wish he would have been here. Paul Skeens, pretty good. Glad he came here. Let's finish up the show next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Gotros Outdoor Power. Gotros Outdoor Power. That grass is not going to stop growing until like Halloween, y'all. So if you need a new zero-turn mower, check out my friends at Gotros Outdoor Power. They can get you behind the wheel for $100 a month. They're the National Hustler Dealer of the Year 2 out of the last 3 years. Largest hustler inventory in the state. Largest parts inventory in the state. Customer service, second to none. You can buy a zero-turn mower from the big box store. You can do it. Do you ever hear from them again? Do they offer you delivery? Are they going to help you out with parts? Maybe not. Probably not. Gotros Outdoor Power will do it every single time. They're open today. They're open half a day on Saturday, 6 days a week with that half day on Saturday. 2 locations, Airline Highway in Baton Rouge and in Gonzales as well. Go by and see them. It's Gotros Outdoor Power. They're online at gotrosonline.com.
Championships are won with preparation, and so are great roofs.
The Tigers don't cut corners on the floor. Parish Construction and Roofing won't cut corners on your home either.
Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing.
ParishBuilt.com.
At Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer, we know hard work starts with the right equipment. Right now, take advantage of the powerful 3025E tractor with loader for just $297 a month, with 0% financing for 72 months. Whether you're tackling land, property, or projects, this is the tractor built to get it done. Don't wait. This offer ends April 30th, 2026. Visit sunequip.com or stop by a Sunshine location today.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Wrapping things up for the week, our Friday show is brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. Let me get you a look at the not players, that was a couple months ago. The PGA Championship from Aronimink up in Philly. Aldrich Potgieter still your leader, the Big Potty. He's at 5 under by himself, 2 under on his round today. Alex Smalley is in solo second at 4 under. There is quite a group at 3 under and quite a group at 2 under. At 3 under, you got Hideki Matsuyama, who played great today and shot his 3 under all today. Chris Gotterup is 3 under as well. Jason Day has moved to 3 under. He's 2 under in his round through 8 holes today. Steven Yeager and Minwoo Lee and Sahith Theegala all at 3 under. And then the group at 2 under, which is 3 shots back, is loaded. Cam Young, Justin Thomas, Scotty Scheffler, all there. Brooks Koepka is there as well. And then you've got a group at 1 under that features a few names that you'd be familiar with. Siwoo Kim, who's a Players Champion, Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth, and Jon Rahm, all there at 1 under. Projected cut line is still at 3 under. I am scrolling. Rory McIlroy is inside that now. He's 2 under today, 2 over for the tournament. He's still in this thing right now. And then Sam Burns is 2 over today, 2 over for the tournament. He needs to keep that thing between the buoys if he wants to play the weekend. It should be playing a little bit easier this afternoon. The wind has died down a bit, but looks like a loaded leaderboard for the PGA Championship coming up this weekend. I am fired up for that. If I can't get fired up for LSU baseball this time of year, I might as well get fired up for a little bit of golf. It is kind of what it is there. Got one more order of business today. That's take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Just take it or leave it.
All right, so I got 3 things for you today.
Lay it on me.
The over-under lines have been made for the NFL team wins. The Saints over-under is 7.5. Is this a valid line for the Saints' upcoming season? Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Look, naturally, you're going to feel better about your team than Vegas. That's just the way that's going to be the case everywhere, whether the over-under is 4.5 somewhere for a bad team or it's 13.5 for what's expected to be a great team. Like, everybody's going to think their team's going to outperform things. I talked about the schedule in the first hour. I invite y'all to go check that out at Hunt on Saints on YouTube, wherever you find your podcasts. I just know that it's a brutal start, and then they've got to get going. They've got a 7-week span where they play one true road game. You've got to get cooking. And we'll kind of know, because I don't know if they fumble that stretch and go 3-4, heaven forbid 2-5. I don't think there's a spot where they can make it back up. So they got to get cooking early, but I think they can. I think they've done a good job of overhauling this team. They have big time addressed the errors of last year. The offensive line has been addressed. The wide receiving core has been addressed. I think the defense was good. I'm a little concerned at corner, but I think they've got a pretty good team. I could absolutely see them getting to 8 or 9 wins. I think 10 is kind of the ceiling for me, and that's where Ross Jackson had them pegged on LouisianaSports.net. But I don't think that's unreasonable, because I can see a scenario where they lose the first 2 at Detroit, at Baltimore, then they stumble in those games where they're not on the road, and then the wheels kind of come off, and I can see them being a 5-win team. That's the low end, and I don't want that to happen, but it's a tough league, and you've got an unproven coach and quarterback at this point. We think they got big upside, but I think that's a reasonable. And if you made me bet it, I would bet the over, but I wouldn't feel awesome. I wouldn't feel awesome about it.
All right, this one's a little bit personal for me.
Okay.
So College Game Day recently announced their Week 1 in 2 locations, and now 3. Week 1 is here in Baton Rouge for LSU Clemson.
Yep.
I've been wanting to do the Pat McAfee field goal kick for the longest time.
Okay.
It was hard last year not having it down here in Baton Rouge the entire season, but I made a promise that if they came down here this year, I'll get there as early as possible to get the raffle ticket.
Okay.
So apparently it's the first 100 people to get there are put into the raffle.
Okay.
So take it or leave it. The odds for me to get into the raffle and to get selected to make the kick.
I'm going to leave that. Those odds are slow. But what time are you planning on going?
Leave it alone. Well, that's what I'm not sure of. I know it starts at 8, but being that it'll be here in Baton Rouge, everybody's going to get there as early as possible.
Yes.
So my guess would be, I don't know, maybe 5-ish, maybe something like that. I'll probably stay out here just so it's not as far of a drive to campus. But I do have a little.
I think, 5 is going to be reasonable. I wouldn't guarantee you're in the first 100.
Yeah.
What you need to do is play your cards.
Okay.
So you'll learn this, Braxton. It's not about how good you are at anything, really. It's about who you know. You know people who know people at ESPN. This building knows people at ESPN. Kay Wassan, Gordy Rush, Matt Moscona, they know people at ESPN. You got to stack the deck.
Okay.
You got to get in somehow with those people. Sliders like, this kid can kick. He wants to do it. This is who you need to pick.
Yeah.
You make that happen. Reese Davis was on our
I like
airwaves
that.
this morning. This morning. You know people. You gotta stack the deck.
I'm definitely doing that now.
I'm just telling you.
I do have a little setback. I currently have a torn ACL. I have surgery this coming up Wednesday.
I heard about that. I forgot, but I did hear about that.
So the goal is September 5th to get back and rehabbing.
Is it your kicking leg?
No.
The plant
it's not. Right. But, I mean, it's just a couple of steps and then I kick. So it's nothing major. But hopefully there's more than one game day besides LSU, but that's at Ole Miss. But
yeah, you're probably going to need to do the Clemson one, so you need to get that rehab going. You need to be on the Aaron Rodgers rehab plan where you got the Achilles ready in like 10 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I think I can do it. I mean, but we'll see. Let's see. Last one. For the past few years, NFL teams have made something out of a schedule release day with a creative video that announced their opponents for the upcoming season. There is no official award for this unofficial competition, but do you see this changing in the future and the NFL making this competition with an award? Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. Why not? The NFL will do anything for content and all that kind of stuff. Everyone is playing for second based on the Titans Broadway one where they had people guess the logo. That's one of the funnier things I've seen. I know that they did one with the lookalikes yesterday. I know that the Chargers did a Halo thing. The Saints went weather on it.
Right.
Some are better than others.
Cassie has a favorite. The Bears, when they got, was it Bob Ross?
So, who did the paint one? There was a paint one this year.
Yeah, Bob Ross.
I don't know who that is.
You
don't know Bob Ross is?
No.
He's a famous painter. He had the afro. It was the Bears one with Roma Dunze.
Oh, Roma Dunze.
Yes.
So I don't know who that is.
That one.
I can't name a lot of painters beyond Michelangelo and Picasso. That's kind of
Come
where
on.
Rodrigue does the blue dog. That's about all I got on painters. Not my forte. I'll stick to SEC baseball, which is about to be over. That's it for us. Y'all have an awesome weekend. Matt's going to drive you home next on AFR. We'll see you Monday for another edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, lifetimeroofingla.com, lifetimeroofingla.com. Lifetime Roofing is a local company, and you can trust them. You need to trust your roofer, right? A lot of times when folks need roofs, there's been a weather event, right? And that's a time of need for people. Lifetime Roofing understands that they're part of the community, and they want to help. So if you're looking for a roofer and you need someone you can trust Lifetime Roofing. You can trust them to do incredible work, and then you can trust them to stand by their work. They do it with a lifetime workmanship warranty, and that obviously covers the workmanship right there in the name, but it also covers the materials, and those are backed by CertainTeed, one of the oldest and most trusted names in building materials. So if you're looking for a roof with a lifetime workmanship warranty, it's Lifetime Roofing. Need financing? They've got it. 0% up to 18 months. Lifetime Roofing, based here in Baton Rouge. They want to help South Louisiana. They're a roofer you can trust. Check them out online. They're at lifetimeroofingla.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate